Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Eros Massacre, a Japanese movie from 1969 that was directed by Kiju Yoshida. Now, per Wikipedia, the film is a biography of anarchist Sakae Osugi, who was murdered by the Japanese military police in 1923, and it is the first film in a loose trilogy, followed by Heroic Purgatory from 1970 and Coup from 1973. Now, the story tells of Osugi's relationship with three different women: Hori Yasuko, his wife; Noe Itō, his third lover; and his jealous second lover, Itsuko Masaoka, a militant feminist who attempts to kill him in a tea house in 1916. So, parallel to the telling of Osugi's life, two students do research on the political theories and ideas of free love that he upheld, and some of the characters from the past and from the present meet and engage the themes of the film. Now, Eros Massacre is what I like to call a hardcore art house movie, which means that you really need to be into this kind of film in order to enjoy it. Now, hopefully you will understand why by the end of this review. But one thing I really enjoyed about this movie are the visuals. And this has a very dreamy presentation to it, with an emphasis on bright white as a color. And this is evident from the first scene alone, which shifts between urban locales, beautiful natural environments, and indoor locations as well. And Eros Massacre is one of the more beautifully shot black and white movies that I've seen. There's also a huge variety of camera angles and shots, placement of actors in different positions, location shots, everything. So visually, this movie really delivers. Now, content-wise, at times, this film is quite difficult to process, okay? Now, as one example, the first scene after the opening credits is an older man and a woman in bed together while a younger man waits in another room. And this younger guy is spouting meditations or monologues about stuff that's not entirely understandable to an American in 2024. And perhaps it's a cultural or time-specific thing, but I had little idea as to what the heck this kid was talking about during this scene. And it's definitely a movie that I think goes over my head at times. Thankfully, though, we do get quite a bit of normal dialogue throughout the film. This movie keeps you off balance, though, for a good chunk of its runtime. But the overall themes of love and destruction, the past and the present, are all blended together in a dialogue-heavy way. And the dialogue does help at times. So there's just enough narrative tissue here, I guess you could say, to hold everything together. Now, there are multiple discussions involving this anarchist and his allies as they plot their revolutionary strategies in both practical and philosophical ways. There are some stage play style scenes with narration. There's a focus on Osugi's womanizing and the impact on those women. There's also a negative impact on this man's followers. Now, the female characters in this actually get a lot of screen time. Some modern ideals are infused into this in terms of free love, equality, marriage ideas, stuff like that. And this movie came out 50 plus years ago. And there are some very progressive statements made by our main character that are close to becoming reality, kind of like in the 2020s in present day. But the real-life implications and impact of accomplishing these specific ideals that he has probably not been as positive or utopic as suggested by our main character in this. And there is some dialogue in the film, from the women especially, that kind of criticizes him about his ideals of this free love society that he wants, and how to apply those types of ideals into reality. And that's actually the most interesting aspect of this film, I think. Even more interesting than the political revolutionary stuff. It's the romance, modernism type stuff that's in it. Now, another thing that makes this movie challenging is the runtime. The 216-minute director's cut was viewed. That's 3 hours and 36 minutes in length. That's long, folks. That's a long movie. And as you might expect, some scenes do feel a little bit repetitive and do drag out. Probably the it's another aspect to the film that might be difficult to chew through. So, in the end, though, do I recommend Eros plus Massacre? Yes. Yes, I do. I think viewers who gravitate towards experimental art house pieces may really enjoy this, especially if some of the themes I mentioned are kind of up your alley. On the other hand, though, if you listen to this review and all you saw were red flags, you can skip it. But it's currently available streaming on multiple websites. There's also a pretty sweet Region B Blu-ray box set from Arrow that includes both versions of this film, the extended cut and the theatrical cut, or whatever cuts they're described as well as both of the other films in this trilogy, Heroic Purgatory and Coup d'etat. So if you've seen this one, let me know what you think. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.